Welcome to the ArmaniTalks YouTube channel. I'm your host, ArmaniTalks. In this channel, I'm covering communication skills for you to level up your way with words and become much more articulate. If this is your first time on the channel, welcome aboard. Every Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, I'm dropping brand new videos on topics such as public speaking, social skills, creative writing, and much more. Join the tribe by hitting that subscribe button right on below. Hit that bell notification and never miss another video again. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. And be sure to drop that like on your way in as we enter the world of social skills. And we're going to be talking about how to be more approachable. I would say in the 6th grade, I learned that I looked mean. The story goes like this. I was in the gym locker room one day and I had just gotten done with PE. So I'm changing from gym clothes back to my original clothes. I changed and now I'm sitting on the bench in La La Land, just relaxing. And did you ever have that one moment when you could feel like you're being stared at? Well, that was me. The left side of my face felt really hot. So I looked to the left and I saw Cartier looking at me. Cartier was this big guy that looked just like Fat Albert. And him and I, for the most part, got along. It's not like we were on bad terms. So I'm like, whatever. If you want to stare at me, go on and do what you got to do. I go back to minding my own business. Suddenly, Cartier blurts out, "Hey guys, tell me why Armani looks so freaking mean." And that's when all the other heads in the locker room slowly began to turn around. They began looking at me, evaluating me, and reaching their conclusions that, yes, I did look mean. And the other kids began blurting out, "Yeah, Cartier, Armani looks so freaking mean." Someone else says, "Armani, you know I avoided talking to you for 6 months because I thought you were going to chop my head off." I couldn't believe it. I never knew that I looked this mean, and all these people are agreeing with Cartier's sentiment. This wasn't the last time that I was going to hear that I looked mean. For the next decade plus, I would routinely be told, "Hey, Armani, you're a lot nicer than I initially thought." And I'm like, what a backhanded compliment. That's like me saying, "You're a lot smarter than you look." But there was no denying I looked mean. I had what they call a resting bitch face. I was going to find the solution for the resting bitch face by complete accident. I would say in 2019, I was working with this public speaking coach who had a lot of these unorthodox methods. In one of our training sessions, he wanted me to get really angry and scream at the audience. I was a little embarrassed. I didn't feel comfortable doing that. But he's like, "We're not ending the meeting until you scream and you get angry." So after a lot of persuading, I eventually got very angry and I started screaming at the top of my lungs. I was thinking that since I was so angry that I was going to feel even angrier after I was done. But that's not what happened. What I realized was that emotions do not follow the laws of logic. When I screamed like that, when I forcefully made myself angry, I surprisingly became very calm. If you don't believe me, you should go to the middle of nowhere, scream at the top of your lungs, and ironically, you'll feel very zen and calm afterwards. It's very similar to, let's say, you step on a thorn and you have big fingers like me. You can't use your big fingers to take that tiny little thorn out of your foot. But you're smart. You find another tiny thorn and you surgically remove the thorn from your foot. You're using a thorn to remove a thorn. I learned that I could use an angry looking face on an angry looking face to build an approachable face. So if you have, let's say, a resting bitch face right now that is not approachable, what you want to do is make your face look even angrier, more pissed off, ferocious, and hold that for 6 minutes. Once the 6 minutes are up, let go. You'll feel very relaxed. It's like a lot of the micro little muscles in your face got worked out, and now the face is smooth, calm. And a calm face is an approachable face. So this is the physical side of how to be more approachable. Later on, though, I learned that being approachable was not only a physical issue, it was also a mental issue. And there was a girl named Millie who was going to be teaching me this lesson. And Millie was someone that I worked with in my last job. I would say she was roughly 35 years old, Puerto Rican. She looked like a supermodel, very attractive. She was in a male-dominated industry where she was, I would say, one of the few girls, and she had a lot of people who reported to her. So she was attractive, she was one of the few women in a male-dominated field, and she had a lot of people who worked for her. And you know what this did? This created Millie to be someone who was not approachable. Soon, different people on the floor began to gossip about Millie. They were like, you know, she's very hard to talk to. Did you guys notice the same thing too? You too? Yeah, I mean, how do you rise up a field like that by being so unapproachable? These little murmurings and gossip got back to Millie, and Millie could have easily have been like, well, this is unfair. I mean, it's not my fault I look like this. It's not my fault that I have ambition and I rose up the field. Screw these people. But that's not what she did. She realized that she was not approachable due to a mental reason, and she realized that the fix for this was to do the approaching first. Soon, Millie started to approach a lot of the people that were gossiping about her. She'd be like, hey, Tommy, how's it going? You mentioned you're going to Bahamas with your family, right? You excited about that? Hey, Billy, I noticed you're wearing different shoes today than you did last week. What made you choose this brand? Suzanne, don't act like I didn't notice that new hairstyle of yours. And once she did the approaching first, what started to happen was the same people that were gossiping about her, saying how unapproachable she was, started to change the tune. Now they were saying, Millie, she's a coconut. She's hard on the outside, soft on the inside. She's so nice. She is so approachable. So Millie was able to see that if someone is struggling with approachability, it's best if they do the approaching first. Overall, to be more approachable, it's a judgment game. I don't think it's smart to try to be too approachable, because then you start to risk being a nice guy, being clingy, being a people pleaser, and just being borderline fake. So if you're struggling with people approaching you, one of the smartest questions to ask is, how can I make others aware of my character? This allows the mind to be centered on ourselves, so we're not over here just changing our personality like we change clothes and being fake. We center ourselves on our personality. But this question, how can I make others aware of my character, also invites the possibility of evolving as a person. Sometimes to be more approachable, it's going to require certain little tweaks in body language, and other times it's going to require rolling up your sleeves, getting your hands dirty, and doing the approaching first. If you enjoyed today's talk and you want more practical insights like this into social skills, be sure to check out the ArmaniTalks Free Daily Newsletter. In this newsletter, I drop daily stories on topics such as public speaking, social skills, creative writing, how to become a better listener, and many of the topics that you were never taught in formal education, you will get in the ArmaniTalks Free Daily Newsletter. Be sure to sign up in the description box, in the pinned comment, or go on ArmaniTalks.com/newsletter to sign up today. Thank you very much for joining the Armani Talks YouTube channel, and I'll catch you next time.